Hi, I'm Marisa Anderson, and this is my Deep Digs. Date Palms, the Dusted Sessions. The first record on the pile is Date Palms, the Dusted Sessions. And I do not know how this record came into my hands. I've been trying to remember, and I really have no idea how this record got to me, but when it did, I was like, what is this? Where did it come from? Who are these people? It didn't make any sense to me that it seemed to fall out of nowhere. I don't know, I mean, I know Marielle a little bit, and I don't know if she handed me the record and that's how I got it, or if I met her afterwards and realized that she was on this record. But it's, to me, this, when I put it on, I got it at the same time that I got the Hired Hand remix, or what do you call that, reissue that happened? The Bruce Langhorne Hired Hand reissue, and somehow that record and this one paired so well, and I think there was a summer in my house where those were the only things playing. It felt like it was like a summer soundtrack by this record and the Bruce Langhorne record. It was just so perfect, and I love this cover. I love the color of it and like the granularity of it. It looks like a dust storm, and it's called the Dusted Sessions. I love that the front doesn't really tell you anything at all. You don't know if Date Palms is the name of a band or the record, and then you get the Dusted Sessions, which implies that there's more music out there, but I haven't heard more. I just love this record so much. I don't know. Yeah, I do like the music she makes quite a bit. I think she's really good at it. But I don't know anybody else besides Marielle of the players on it. I don't know. No, like, it's just really mysterious to me, this record. And maybe I want it to be that way. Maybe I don't need to know. I mean, it says back here, it says recorded during the annular solar eclipse, which I don't know what that word annular means, May 2012. So I think that must mean that it was all recorded in one big session during an eclipse, which it's cool that the cover, while it's not an eclipse, it's definitely some event where the sun is blocked out. It looks like a dust storm. Yeah, I don't know. This record just came out of the ether for me and totally said everything that I needed to hear for like several months. And I don't even remember what year or how I got it. Freakwater, Springtime.
One big union can't help us now. Even one big union can't help us now.
Next we have Freakwater, Springtime. And if I could have picked more Freakwater records, I would have, particularly Old Paint and Feels Like the Third Time, but I thought I couldn't do a deep digs of only Freakwater records, so I had to pick one. And I picked this one because of Louisville Lip and Harlan and One Big Union and many of the other songs, but there's like, when this record came out, what year was this? I can't see well enough. 1997. So I must have heard it right about when it came out. I think it was all just on cassette, like dubbed cassettes, because I never knew what the cover looked like. I never knew what the people looked like. They looked like this. I didn't know anything about it. It was just like a cassette. It probably had this on one side and another Freakwater on the other side. Driving around in cars in the 90s. And all I know is that in that kind of time period from like 97 to 2004, no matter what tour I was on, no matter what kind of like party I was at, some Freakwater was always playing. And it was like, this record, it felt like meeting friends that you didn't know. You know, like you heard the music and you're like, oh, these are people that are my friends. Like if I lived where they lived, we would know each other. But they play like acoustic instruments and country music, which is, you know, especially then, was where I was at, and still largely is in my listening habits. And it just felt kind of magical. And I mean, so many of these lines just continue to go through my head. Like something will happen and I'll be like, even one big union can't save us now, you know? Like, this record is like so fundamental to like the musician that I developed into. I would say this is like one of, or the three records that I said are I wouldn't like have followed the same musical path that I did without being able to listen to those three records like constantly for 7 years. Yeah, they're huge for me. I don't know why, but these records just really, they were exactly what I needed to hear in exactly the time that I needed to hear them. Yeah, I think I was transitioning from playing more like folk and country kind of music into improvised music, and also trying to figure out how to navigate being really like an acoustically oriented person in an electric world, you know? I think that was like part of that journey, and these records helped with that. Yeah. Matmos, Ultimate Care 2. Record number 3, Matmos, Ultimate Care 2. This record, it speaks to like this really, really deep part of me, this really core part of me as a child who would sing along to the vacuum cleaner as I was vacuuming the house. Like, I used to play with the washing machine, like make the make it do a beat. Like the thing about this record is that it's all made from the sounds of a washing machine, and it still sounds like that. Like the sounds are arranged, but they're not particularly processed. And when I listen to it, it's like with this such deep recognition of the source of the sound. And I think it speaks again to that like acoustic electric divide. It's like, you know, basically an electronic record made out of the most like acoustic source. And I just love the sounds of the washing machine, and I love how dedicated they were to like the actual washing machine that they used. When I saw them on this tour in Portland, Oregon. They live in Baltimore. The washing machine lives in Baltimore, but they brought it with them on tour, and they brought it onto the stage, and they brought a guy who could like drain the water from it while they were playing, because it was important that they be making the actual sounds of the actual washing machine, and just like that dedication to the concept as well as like that kind of what's the word, like it's not conceptual. They're like, the washing machine is our instrument and we're bringing it, and we can't have like a backline washing machine. We have to have the ultimate care too. And as far as I understand, they brought it to Europe as well, or maybe they found an ultimate care too in Europe. I'm not totally sure, but I know they traveled around Europe with it. But yeah, basically it's like a lot of electronic music doesn't hit me real hard because I'm not that invested in the actual sounds, like the sonics of them, of those instruments. They don't hit me where I like to be hit. And this one, yeah, it really like brings me back. Like, yeah, it's the sonics of the thing, and the dedication to it as a practice and a reality. They wrote to me and asked me. I think that Drew had a copy of Into the Light, which is a record of mine that I put out in 2016, and that record saw him through some kind of important parts of his life. And we had emailed a few times, maybe about that, or I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure, but they just wrote to me and asked me to be on it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I like those guys a lot. They're smart and funny and nice. I'm Marisa Anderson. Thanks for watching my deep digs. Jim White and I made a record. It's called Swallowtail, and it's out now.